Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Kristen Finley, registered licensed dietitian and the owner of Be Well 365, coming to you live from El Paso, Texas. And this is our lifestyle change series, Think, Eat, and Move Right. Before we start the episode, let's talk diabetes for a moment because November is American Diabetes Month and Diabetes Awareness Month. And I wonder if you are aware that 53% of Americans fall into one of three categories. They have a diagnosis of diabetes, they have diabetes but don't know it, or they have pre-diabetes. I don't know if you realize, but that's about 1 in 2 Americans. That blows me away. So why is that bad? Because diabetes can lead to dialysis, amputation, and blindness, but not necessarily death. So that means we live, but with a horrible quality of life. We can significantly decrease our risk for these long-term complications just by learning how to manage blood sugar. Here at Be Well 365, we teach that eating right is about balance, consistency, and moderation. Episode number 3 and 4 of this series was about balance and consistency. That means balancing foods according to their effect on blood sugar. And consistency is small, frequent meals and snacks from the food groups. And it just so happens this is exactly how we eat to manage diabetes. Class 1 of our Journey to Wellness signature course on our website is called Balanced Foods to Manage Blood Sugar, which goes into much more detail about how to eat right to manage diabetes. Please get educated about diabetes and encourage your family and friends to become aware as well, because it's a highly manageable disease. Okay, so moving on. Today's episode is about the last concept of eating right called moderation. Remember, balance, consistency, and moderation. We'll discuss number 7 and number 8 on the agenda, and it's found on the handouts page under products on our website, bewell365.com. So we use portion sizes to master the concept of moderation. So I don't like calorie counting so much. There's no need to be so exact, but if you like numbers and that works for you, there are numerous apps that will count the calories for you. I believe it's better to learn to visually estimate a technical portion size and then go from there. And the woman's hand is the closest to the technical size. So let me explain. We'll review a few common portion sizes using the hand and then some recognizable items as guides. So most of the starches like the pasta, rice, potatoes, peas and corn, dried beans, including ice cream, are about 1/2 cup or the size of a tennis ball or a woman's fist, a handful, about a handful. A serving size of bread is 1 slice. Bagels would be about 1/2 of a bagel, or a little mini bagel would be 1 serving. English muffin, 1/2. A hot dog bun is probably closer to 2 servings of bread than 1. And a waffle or a pancake is about the size of a 4-inch computer disk or the palm of a man's hand. A baked potato is about the size of a computer mouse or a woman's hand. And 3 ounces of meat, 3-ounce serving of meat, is about the size of a deck of cards or the palm of a woman's hand. Milk is an 8-ounce cup, coffee cup, not a big coffee mug or the size of a woman's fist. Okay, and then peanut butter is 2 tablespoons, which is about the size of a golf ball or 2 thumbs. And then fats, not too big of a serving size, about a teaspoon of most fats are the size of a quarter or the size of a thumbnail. So it takes practice, but you'll get good at it. And we'll talk a little bit more about practice and all the resources on portions at the end of the episode. So let's move on to number 8 on the agenda, the 10% rule. If I taught you everything that's on the food label, that would be about a 2-hour class. And I like to focus on just a few items to make it an easy tool that you can use. You can actually use at the grocery store. So to start with, let's focus on fat, fiber, and sodium. So the nutrition facts label always tells you what a portion size or a serving size is at the top, and then that information is according to one portion size, and also the number of portions or servings in the whole container. So that's important to remember. Let's see here. We're looking for, well, let me just tell you, Triscuit, one serving size up here is 6 crackers. You can't see that, and then the number of containers in the box is 10. We're looking for 10% or less fat and sodium and 10% or more fiber. So the percents are over here on the be the right side if you're looking at it. And we're going to look at Triscuit here. So the total fat is 6%. The total, the grams of sodium for one portion, 6%. And the total carbohydrates, those are 20 grams. The fiber is 12%. So it meets the criteria. And we like to remind you that a serving of carbohydrates is 15 grams. So when we looked at Triscuit, one serving is 20 grams. So I would say that a technical portion size of Triscuit crackers is closer to 5 grams than 6 grams. 5 crackers than 6 crackers. So let me repeat that. A serving of carbohydrates is 15 grams. On the Triscuit crackers, one serving is 20 grams. So the 6 crackers is a little bit too large, and a more technical serving size of Triscuit would be the 5 crackers. Now remember that we recommend 3 servings of carbohydrates per meal and 1 per snack to lose weight or to manage diabetes. So why do we focus on these 3 items? Well, fat has to do with cholesterol, and sodium has to do with blood pressure, and fiber has to do with diabetes. And we consider high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and diabetes to be the lifestyle diseases. So we don't focus so much on grams of sugar because it has more to do with the total grams of carbohydrates. Grams of sugar are a part of the carbohydrates. So counting grams of sugar, that's more like advanced label reading. And I like to keep it simple, or we can easily get bogged down with all the numbers that are on the label. We also recommend limiting risky ingredients, such as anything artificial, like colors, flavors, dyes, or sugar substitutes. Watch out for hydrogenated fats, partially or fully hydrogenated. And watch out for high fructose corn syrup. And for your information, Triscuit has none of those risky ingredients. So now you have a better idea of where to focus when you're looking at or reading a food label. So now it's practice time, and practice measuring portion sizes to see what a portion size looks like, and then commit that to memory. And occasionally you may have to repeat this exercise if your portions are slowly growing. It's pretty easy to do, like with ice cream and mashed potatoes, right? Then the next exercise is to go to the pantry or the grocery store and start looking at food labels and see if your favorite foods stack up to the 10% rule and the risky ingredients that we mentioned. Check out your favorite snacks like crackers or chips and see if one portion really is 15 grams of carbohydrates. Now let's review our resources to support today's topics, and we'll start with portion sizes. So we have a really cool blog on the website. It's called Portion Sizes, OMG Have They Grown. And if you enter portion sizes up in the little search engine at the top of the page on the website, it'll take you straight to that blog. And then on the handouts page, we had two that we encouraged you to download. This was an old handout that I found that was, really helpful for portions. And then one that I made on portion sizes of fats, which is another place we can get into trouble with. We have 3 video shorts on portions on our YouTube channel at BeWell365. They're called Portion Size Does Help Control Calories. It's all about portion sizes and what is a serving size of fats. Now for the 10% rule, we had the little handout for you to download that has pretty much a summary of everything I talked about on that. And then we have a blog on the 10% rule. It's called the 10% rule for reading labels. Once again, just put 10% in the little search engine. It'll take you straight to that blog. We have a video short on our YouTube channel called Food Labels Can Help Reduce Blood Pressure. And finally, an ebook called Reading Food Labels, and that goes into significant detail about all the information that is on the label. So these resources will help you fully understand the 2 topics we talked about today, portions and food labels. So that's all we have for today. Please join us next week for episode number 6. It's called Move Right. We'll discuss exercise, physical activity, and relaxation. And it will be the last episode in our lifestyle change series. So to prepare for next week, please download 3 handouts. It's from the handouts page under products on our website. They're called Increase Daily Movement, Metabolism Explained, and Relaxation Saves Lives. And additionally, on the handouts page, there are 2 physical activity guidelines. One put out by Health and Human Services. It's like about 40 or 50 pages. You're not going to want to download that, but or print it out rather. You can certainly download it onto your computer. The American Heart Association, we have a 1-page handout. Both of them have information on getting started on an exercise program. And I always say it's never too late to start exercise. So we'll be discussing that next week. I will place the 3 links for those handouts on next week's Facebook post to make it easy for you. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for spending your time with us. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.